The cuffs were cold, too tight, deliberately tightened. I could smell his cologne before I saw his face. Sheriff Dalton, my wife's old friend. He pressed me against my own wall, voice dripping with rehearsed triumph. "I'm taking your assets, your freedom, and your children, loser." Behind him, she laughed. Not nervous laughter, not shocked. The kind of laughter that blooms only when masks finally come off. "Babe," she said, her eyes never meeting mine, "this weak coward will probably cry like a baby in custody." The sheriff began reading my rights. My wife leaned on the doorframe as if she already owned the place. Something inside me cracked. Not loudly, not violently, quietly, like ice splitting on a frozen lake. I didn't argue, I didn't shout. I only memorized. Every word, every detail, every look. Because that was the night I stopped being her husband and became her ghost. They booked me, processed me, locked me in a holding cell. 3 hours later, I was out. Charges vanished into silence. Sheriff Dalton had flexed his power, then let me go, as if he wanted me humiliated, not jailed. I returned to my house and found half-empty wine glasses in the kitchen. 2, not 1. Her perfume lingered in the hallway, mingling with his cologne. The bed was too neatly made, like a hotel bed after a hurried affair. My daughter's drawing was still taped to the refrigerator. Daddy's the strongest. I stared at the crayon lines until my eyes blurred. I wanted to believe it was a misunderstanding, some power play, some ugly coincidence. But my gut knew better. The sheriff's hand on my shoulder had been too familiar, his smirk too personal, her laugh too cruel. The betrayal wasn't a spark, it was already a fire, and I had just walked into the smoke. I began to watch, quietly. She guarded her phone now, took it with her to the bathroom, deleted messages before bed, started jogging in the evenings, though her sneakers remained spotless. I didn't confront her, I didn't accuse. Instead, I collected. A call log backed up to the cloud. A hotel receipt accidentally emailed to our shared account. And then, the photo. A blurred reflection in a restaurant window. Her hand on his wrist. His badge glinting. My hands shook when I saw it. Not from rage, from clarity. I requested a DNA test for our youngest son. Quietly, without her knowledge. The envelope arrived 3 weeks later. I didn't open it right away. I left it on my desk. Let it breathe. Let it poison me slowly, so when I finally cut it open, the wound would feel like old news. Every night she kissed me goodnight. Every night I pretended to sleep. Every night I thought about the sheriff's voice. Your children. The DNA test confirmed it. My youngest was not mine. I sat in the dark, the report glowing white in my hands. My pulse was steady, my breath even. There was no explosion, only silence. The next morning I slid the report across the breakfast table. She froze, spoon midair. Her eyes flicked to the paper, then to me. "What is this?" she whispered. I didn't answer. She read the first line. The color drained from her face. "No," she stammered. This isn't real." I sipped my coffee. No reaction, no mercy. Her hands shook. She dropped the spoon. "You don't understand. He said." I let her choke on excuses. Let her crumble in her own panic. All while I sat still, watching, as if I were already dead and she was confessing to a grave. That evening, I invited Sheriff Dalton to the house. He came smug, shoulders squared, ready to gloat. I opened the door without a word, handed him the same report. His smirk faltered. Behind him, she appeared, eyes wide, lips trembling. She looked from him to me, realizing I'd stitched their lies together. I know, I said, finally breaking my silence. 2 words, nothing more. Dalton tried to speak, but the weight of the paper shut him down. My wife reached for me. Please! I stepped back. Her hand froze mid-air, empty. Her face collapsed as she understood. It wasn't a fight. It was an execution without a weapon. I moved out the next day. No shouting, no farewell speeches. I left her the house, the silence, the sheriff. They would devour each other. I didn't need to lift a hand. My daughter clung to me. My son did not. The irony wasn't lost on me. On the drive away, the rearview mirror showed the house shrinking. For years, it had been home. Now it was just a carcass. I felt no pity, no regret. Only a clarity sharp enough to cut. Love had been the rope around my neck. The truth was the blade that severed it. And as the house vanished behind me, I whispered the only vow I still believed in: never again.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.